All right, folks, buckle up. The View is in full-on crisis mode. Karoline Leavitt, the young, bold, and unapologetically conservative powerhouse, just dropped a truth bomb so savage it left Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, and Sunny Hostin scrambling. And get this, she didn't even have to step on their stage to do it. After yet another unhinged attack from The View, Karoline clapped back in a way nobody saw coming.
She's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though. It's not her first job. It was her first press briefing. She worked in the previous Trump administration.
Karoline didn't just take the hit and move on. She fired back hard. She exposed their hypocrisy, roasted their tired talking points, and dragged the whole show through the mud. The backlash? It's so intense that there are now whispers swirling that ABC executives are considering pulling the plug on The View entirely. Yeah, it's that bad. So what did Karoline say that sent Whoopi into full meltdown mode, had Joy Behar shaking, and left Sunny Hostin speechless for once in her life? Oh, trust me, you're gonna want to hear this. But first, smash that like button and hit subscribe for more uncensored, drama-packed updates. Subscribed? Legend. Let's get into it.
The View hosts have got themselves into hot water again after they did the very thing they purport to be against, undermining women's success. Joy Behar stunned viewers when she said Donald Trump's press secretary, 27-year-old Karoline Leavitt, only secured her position because of her good looks.
I think she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though. It's not her first job. It was her first press briefing. She worked in the previous Trump administration.
The comment was bizarre, especially coming from Joy Behar, who is as woke as they come and positions herself as a champion of feminism. This online commentator said, disgusting Joy Behar of The View accuses Karoline Leavitt of being hired only because Donald Trump thought she...
Here's the setup. The View came for Karoline Leavitt again. Why? Simply, she's young, conservative, and refuses to play by their rules. This time, they reach for their usual bag of tricks, mocking her, questioning her credibility, and even implying that Trump supports her just because of her looks. Sound familiar? Joy Behar, with her signature smugness, suggested Karoline's success wasn't earned, just handed to her because she's a 10 in Trump's eyes. And Whoopi, never one to let facts get in the way of a rant, claimed that without wokeness, Karoline wouldn't even have a platform.
I would like this young lady this is her first job, I would like her to do a little homework. Because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain something to you. Because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
Yeah.
Because women were not invited to that table. Women were not invited to many tables in this nation. The reason we fought and busted our behinds to make sure that you didn't have to worry about this. And now to hear you talk about it and to hear anybody talk about the wokeness was put in place for a reason. Because black people couldn't get into colleges. Because women could not get into the colleges they wanted to go to. This is all women.
Yeah.
See, this is not black, Asian women. This is all women. Women were not invited to this party. It was a man's world, and we busted our asses to make sure that this was a person's world.
This commentator said, Whoopi is mansplaining the press secretary job to Karoline Leavitt. Hilarious.
And Sunny Hostin? She did what she always does and turned it into a conversation about race. But Karoline wasn't about to let that slide. Instead of ignoring it, she hit back with a response so brutal that the show's producers are probably still trying to recover.
Please, his opponents are saying to this very day the same rhetoric that led to those two attempts. The second attempt on President Trump's life echoed the sentiment that President Trump is a democracy. And if you're a deranged lunatic and you're mentally ill, you will believe that lie. And yes, you will take political like we have seen in 2 instances against President Trump. Last week, Tim Walz and Kamala Harris said that everyone who showed up to President Trump's rally at Madison Square Garden was a... That's despicable, dangerous, divisive rhetoric that is spewed by the Democrat Party every single day. And I'm so sick and tired of the media pointing the finger at Donald Trump and saying that he is sowing division in this country. He is not. The media is for pushing hoaxes like the one that you all pushed today, and the Democrat Party is for pushing lies about him. But the good news is Americans don't buy it. And that's why today President Trump is more popular than he has been since 2016, because people don't trust him.
Karoline didn't just respond, she scorched them in a viral video that lit up social media. She called The View out for what it really is, a panel of bitter, out-of-touch elites who preach feminism while tearing down any woman who dares to disagree with them. And she didn't hold back. Joy Behar? Karoline called her the poster child for modern feminism, where if you're conservative, they mock your appearance and belittle your achievements. So much for women empowerment, right? Whoopi saying she wouldn't be here without wokeness. Karoline snapped back. Please, I got here by working hard, unlike the unqualified DEI hires The View props up, and Sunny Hostin talking about privilege? Karoline shut that down quickly. Give me a break. Then she dropped the line that had jaws on the floor. The View doesn't want strong women. They want women who follow their script, and I refuse to play their game. Boom! The second that video hit Twitter, the internet went nuclear. Hashtags like Cancel The View and Karoline Leavitt ounds. The View started trending within minutes. But wait, it gets worse for The View. They thought they could mock Karoline, brush it off, and move on. Instead, they created their own nightmare. Rather than damage her reputation, they accidentally catapulted her into the national spotlight. She was already a rising star in conservative politics, and now she's a household name. And ABC? They're sweating. Inside sources say execs are furious with how bad this makes them look. There's talk of major shakeups happening behind the scenes. And yep, Joy Behar and Whoopi's names are being mentioned in not-so-friendly conversations. Translation? They might finally be on their way out. And if you thought The View's audience would blindly defend them, not this time. Even longtime fans are calling them out, saying this was a step too far. One viral tweet nailed it. The View preaches empowerment, but mocks any woman who doesn't follow their agenda. Karoline Leavitt just exposed them all. Meanwhile, sponsors are getting nervous. Some major brands are reportedly reconsidering their ad placements. Because let's be real, who wants their logo next to this kind of mess? At this point, the writing's on the wall. The View has been playing with fire for years, but this time, they might have finally scorched themselves for good. The backlash is intense, the hypocrisy is on full display, and ABC is now facing a serious choice: clean house or cancel the show completely. Because let's be honest, The View thrives on controversy, but when the backlash outweighs the ratings boost, game over. And right now, they're skating on dangerously thin ice. Could this finally be the moment that brings The View crashing down? All right, folks, now it's your turn. Did The View finally go too far? Was Karoline Leavitt's response the wake-up call the media needed? And do you think ABC will actually pull the plug after this disaster? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and before you go, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any breaking updates.